Hi everyone, I'm Gayle. Please join me in this video to explore yoga poses that will test your strength and balance and ability to move between poses. Some poses will be familiar and some might be new, or how we move from pose to pose might be new. And this video is going to move at a little bit of a faster pace with less instruction and more just going with the movement, going with the flow. As we approach the end of a year and the end of a decade, a new year and a new decade begins. So we can ask the question, is time finite, infinite, or cyclical? No one really knows. Every day can be a beginning and an end, or just part of a vast expanse of energy, always in motion, never ending, and never beginning. Let's begin seated, and we'll do some side stretches. So bring your right hand to the ground, reach your left arm over and across to the right, and then bring the left hand down, reach the right arm over and across to the left. Continue to move back and forth with your breath, trying to keep the opposite hip rooted. So as your right arm reaches to the left, try and keep that right hip rooted. And as your left arm reaches to the right, try and keep that left hip rooted. And one more time, reaching across, side to side, and bring your hands together in front of your heart. On an inhale, sweep your arms up, and then begin to reach through one arm and then the other arm. So you feel your shoulders elevate, one side gets a little bit taller than the other, and slowly lower your hands to the ground. Come onto your hands and knees, sit back on your heels in child's pose. On your inhale, round forward, and your exhale, slide back. So inhale, round forward to cat, exhale, slide back to child's pose. And keep the rhythm, the movement, nice and flowing, and then tuck your toes, lift up into down dog, and can you continue that same rhythmic spinal movement. Rounding forward, arching back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Inhale forward. This time stay in plank, and then stretch way back to your down dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips toward the sky, and then reach through your heart. Maybe a little back bend here if that feels good for you. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. Chest lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift to a flat back. Place your hands to the floor and step back to plank, keeping your belly lifted, keeping the ribs lifted. And then start to roll your heels to the right and roll your heels to the left. Feet can be in line with each other. Roll to the right again, trying to keep that left shoulder down, and roll to the left, trying to keep the right shoulder down. Come back to your plank and slowly lower all the way to the floor. Knees can be lowered or lifted. Inhale, curl up into your cobra. Stay in your cobra for a breath or two, focusing on really engaging the shoulders, lifting upward through the heart, upward and forward. Then lower your chest down, tuck your toes, make your way back, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. On an exhale, hug your knee into your chest and step your foot forward into crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Reach upward with your heart. Reach back through your fingers and lower your hands back down. Step back, down dog. On your next inhale, sweep your left leg up. Exhale, hug your knee to your chest, bring your shoulders forward, step your foot to your hands. Take a moment to set your foundation, and on your inhale, rise up. Chest lifting, arms reaching, heart high. Exhale, lower your hands back down. Step back, down dog. Look toward your hands, bend your knees, and lightly hop or step forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Maybe rock a little bit back and forth to find your center. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up to a flat back. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank. Keep the lower ribs lifting, lower your knees to the floor, and this time arch your spine, keeping your hips up, lower your chest down, and then pull up and through into your cobra. Lower your chest down, reach your arms back, legs up. Externally rotate your shoulders so your thumbs point up. See if you can hold here. Lower down. Inhale, rise up. Externally rotating the shoulders, lifting. Place your hands by your sides. Press back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. Step your foot forward for your lunge. Inhale, rise up with your breath. Reach, extend. Shift your weight forward into your right leg and then float your back leg up, coming into warrior three. Hands reach back. Lower your left leg back down again. Arch your heart to the sky. This time when we lower our hands to the floor, we're going to pivot the right foot out to the right. Lower down onto your left hip. Reach your fingers toward your toes, and then inhale, lift up from your ankle all the way through the crown of your head, reaching your arm over your head. And then we're going to pulse that bottom leg up and down, lifting from the inner thigh. And come back and lift your right knee up and reach your knee from arm to arm. Lower your foot back down. We'll do the same thing other side. So reach your left leg up. Hug your knee into your chest as you step your foot forward to your hands. Keep your core engaged as you rise up. Leading with your heart, arms finally reach up. Chest to the sky. Begin to shift your weight into your left leg, lifting your right leg up, coming into warrior three with your arms reaching back. Keep the right leg super strong and then lightly bend your knee, step your right leg back. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, crescent lunge. Exhale, lower your hands down, pivot on your feet so your left foot is forward, and then lift your hips up, reaching your arm over your head. Lower your hips down, reach your hips up as you reach your arm across, and lower the hips down again. And this time, start to lift that inner right thigh up. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Bring your left hand back down, pick your left knee up as high as you can, and begin to shift your knee from left to right, back and forth, keeping your leg as high as you can. And then step it back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, bend your knees, and lightly step or hop forward. Inhale, lift up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Maybe reach back into a little back bend if you would like. And come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lead with your heart to fold as your fingers touch the earth. Inhale, expand forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower down, slowly chest to the floor, reach your arms forward. On your inhale, reach your arms and legs up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Pull your elbows back, cactusing your arms, and reach your arms forward. So try and keep your chest lifted, your legs lifted. Then place your hands down, curl up into your cobra. Lower down, tuck your toes. Press back, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then walk your right hand forward a little bit. Roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Bend your knees. Reach your left arm over your head. Reach your left leg up in the air. Keep lifting up through your hips. Create an arc under your body. And then step your right foot back into Wild Thing. Widely open up the hips and the chest. Bring your left hand back down. And sweep your left knee across to the right. Maybe straighten your leg. Maybe keep your knee bent or your foot on the floor. Come back into your down dog splits, left leg high in the air. Bring your left knee forward into crescent lunge, hogging in, reaching up, and then rotate the back heel down, coming into warrior two. You can adjust the distance between your legs. So take your time and reach out through your arms, reach up and back through your left arm, right arm reaches down your leg, reverse your warrior. And then place your left hand down, pull your left hip back, triangle pose. Take some time here to move your hips a little bit, finding a position that feels expansive and rooted and grounded for you. Maybe you gaze up toward the sky. And bend your knees, sweep your right arm forward, coming into side angle pose. You can always have your hand on a block or your leg. Reach up and back, reverse your warrior. Hands down, step back, downward facing dog. And walk your left hand forward a little bit, roll into the outside edge of your left foot, stacking your right foot on top. Reach your hips up toward the sky, reach your right arm over your head, and then bring your right knee up. And gently and gracefully step your foot behind you, arcing your heart toward the sky. Wild thing. It's pretty wild, it feels pretty good. And then pivot on your foot, reaching your right leg forward or down on the ground. Pivot back, reach your right leg back up into the sky. Down dog splits. Hug your knee to your chest, step your foot forward for your lunge. Take your time, inhale, rise up. And rotate the back heel down, coming into warrior two. Adjust your stance. Reach out through your fingertips, forward through your front knee. Then reach up and back, reverse your warrior. And straighten the front leg into triangle pose. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Stretch your tailbone towards your back heel. Stretch from fingertip to fingertip. And bend your front knee. Reach the left arm forward, side angle pose. Come back, reverse your warrior. Windmill the arms, step back, downward facing dog. Stretch from your fingertips to your hips, from your hips to your heels. And round forward to plank, arch back to down dog. As you lower your knees to the ground, tuck your toes, sit back on your heels, reach your hands back for your heels, and then lift the back of your thighs up off your lower legs, arching your heart to the sky, coming into camel pose. Lead with your heart, coming back to kneeling. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take your hands to your hips to remind you to lift up and then reach back. Maybe you walk your hands forward to the back of your knees to go into a little bit deeper of a back bend, and maybe you don't do that. So it's up to you to decide. Rest in your child's pose. From child's pose, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, stretch back into your down dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bring your leg all the way forward to your lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Arc your heart up, reach your arms back, and shift your weight into your right foot, bringing your left leg up, warrior three with your arms forward. Lower your right hand down to a block or the floor, open up half moon. Keep that top leg strong and engaged. No flopping feet here. And bring your left hand down, reach back with your left foot, step back with your right foot into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. Rise up, crescent lunge. Take your time, move slowly. Find the balance between extension and contraction. Once in a while you lose your balance. That's just part of our practice, right? And then start to shift your weight forward into your left leg as you push off your right leg, keeping the right leg strong. Reach it up in the air as you reach your arms forward, warrior three. Point through your toes, hug to the midline. Bring your left hand down, engage your left glute, open up that right hip toward the sky as you reach your right arm toward the sky. So I'm demoing with my hand on the ground, but a block makes this a lot easier. Block or some books. Lower your right hand down, slowly lower your right foot back and step back, downward facing dog. Take a little time in down dog to really enjoy it and feel the full stretch in your back. Little movements, however you want to move. Finding that center, finding your place of power. This next transition is probably going to be new to you, so I'm going to demo it first in slow motion. Begin by bringing your right leg underneath your left leg so your legs are crossed and you're facing down. And start to swivel your hips as you lift your left arm up in the air, bringing your hips down, bringing your left hand behind you. And now you'll be facing upward. You can point your fingers away from your hips or towards your hips, whatever is comfortable for you, and push down into your hands, lift your hips up and stretch out through your toes. So you get a big lift on your body, you're facing upward. Slowly lower your hips down and begin to bring your left arm back over, lift your hips back up again, uncross your right leg, and you're ending up back in your plank position. So we'll get started now together. So again, reach the right leg underneath, reach the left arm up, across, lower your hips down. With your hands, both hands on the ground, lift your hips up, pointing out through your toes. Get a nice stretch on the front of the body, and then bring the left hand back across, uncross your legs, coming back into plank, and we'll do the other side. So bring the left leg underneath, lift your right arm up as you slowly lower your hips to the floor, both hands behind your back. And press into your hands, lift your hips up, stretch out through your toes. As you lower your hips down, bring that right arm back over and across, uncross your legs. Voila, you're in plank, and then stretch back, downward facing dog. So from down dog, reach your right leg up and exhale, knee to your right arm. And stretch back into your down dog splits. Exhale, knee forward. Inhale, stretch your leg back. Exhale, hug your knee in. Stretch it forward and back to downward facing dog. This is a good core strengthening practice. So on your exhale, your knee pulls in. See if you can touch your arm as high as you can. And then reach back to your down dog splits. One more time. Exhale, hug in. And back to downward facing dog. Stretch your hips back. Look toward your hands, bend your knees lightly. Hop or step forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. This time we're going to come into chair pose, Utkatasana. So bend your knees, shift your weight into your left foot, cross your right knee above your left knee, and if you can, hook your right toes on the inside of your left ankle. Bring your right arm forward, wrap your left arm underneath, and see if you can sink a little lower, maybe touching your elbows to your knees. And slowly come back up into Utkatasana, unwrap that right leg, keep your arms wrapped in eagle arms, and stretch your leg back, warrior three. And bring your knee forward again, coming back to Utkatasana, sweep up into Tadasana and back to Utkatasana. Do the same thing on the left side. So cross your left knee above your right knee, hook your left toes if you can, if not, no problem. Wrap your right arm underneath your left arm, eagle-eyes your arms, and then sink into the eagle's nest. And start to unwrap your left leg, reaching your leg back, arms stay wrapped, warrior three with eagle arms. And bend your left knee, bring it back by the other foot, sink down into your Utkatasana, and then straighten up to the sky, unwrapping your arms and forward fold. Inhale, lift up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up toward the sky, fingertips reach up, and exhale, hands to your heart center. So we're going to do some one-legged balancing poses. Bring your right leg up into tree pose, remembering to push both legs in towards each other. Reach your arms toward the sky. And we'll just hold here in tree pose. Notice the trees behind me. There's some movement there. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Reach your hips back. And then hold your foot and your knee with your hands, lifting your foot up. Take your right hand to the outside edge of your right foot. See if you can open your right leg out to the right a little bit as you reach your left arm up. Bring your foot back into tree pose, reaching both arms up. Lower your hands down. Same thing other side. So bring your left foot up to the right inner thigh. Hug in with your legs. Inhale the arms up. And then cross your left ankle above your right knee. Bend both knees. Reach your arms forward, your hips back. Take your hands on your knee and your foot and just lift your leg off. Lift your left leg off the right leg, bringing your shin up, parallel to the floor. And take your left hand, grab the outside of your left foot. Start to extend your left leg out to the side, up and out. And just do the best you can here. Everything takes a lot of practice, and we don't always get everything the first time. So instead of ending that pose, that transition, just practice, play around with it, have fun. So coming back to Tadasana, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come into a squat. And then reach your arms forward, stretching out your whole back. Walk your hands back behind you, and this time we're going to lift our hips up off the floor, coming into a reverse tabletop position. Lower your hips back down, and slowly lower onto your backs, hugging your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Release your knees, bring your feet to the floor as wide as your mat. And stretch both knees over to your left, seeing how close you can get both knees to the ground without forcing it. Bring your knees back up and stretch both knees over to the right. So moving slowly with mindfulness, just gently glide your knees from side to side. Let your breath guide the movement. And cross your right ankle above your left knee for eye of the needle. So thread your right hand in between your legs, and you can clasp your hands either on the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin. So it takes you a little bit deeper, clasping your hands on the front of your shin. So make the adjustments that are appropriate for you right now. Either way is just fine. Either way is great. And release your arms out to the side, and we're going to twist our legs over to the left, keeping the knees separate, bringing the whole outside of the left leg to the floor. You can take your left hand and pulse the inner right thigh, pushing it away from you if you like. Or you could hold your foot and adjust the position of your foot closer in the direction of your head or further back in the direction of your feet. Then straighten your bottom leg and see if you can straighten that top leg. You don't have to be holding your foot. You could be holding your ankle or your calf or the back of your thigh. And just rest here. This is one of my favorite stretches. It feels so good. It's really good for your piriformis to open up the hips, and then we'll come back into eye of the needle and switch sides. Bring your left ankle on top of your right knee. Thread your left hand in between your arms and either interlace your fingers on the back of your thigh or the front of your shins. Your choice. Everything is always really your choice. It's your ability to listen, let go of the ego, and try and challenge yourself at the same time as trying not to overdo it. So twisting over to the right, left knee stays up in the air. You can palm press the inner thigh with your right hand if you like. You could hold your ankle like we did on the other side. You can just let your leg rest on your hand without that pressing action. And then straighten the bottom leg, so straighten your right leg, straighten your left leg out to the side. Maybe you hold your left foot or your ankle or your calf or your leg, or maybe you don't hold anything at all. So we're just in this nice, gentle but maybe intense, it depends on each person, twist. The key thing is to notice, are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? And then we'll come back into eye of the needle, left ankle crossed above the right knee, left hand in between your legs. And then bring your feet up toward the sky, knees wide for happy baby. Release your feet, place your feet down, lift your hips up for bridge pose. Press strongly into your feet. That will engage your glutes. And maybe this time you can lift a little higher through your chest, maybe not. So just kind of play with that, how high up you want to go in bridge pose. And then we'll start to swing our hips from side to side. So squeeze your right glute to lift your right hip up, squeeze the left glute to lift your left hip up. Very subtle action. And lower your hips down. Hug your knees into your chest. And hug your right knee in, stretch your left leg out, pointing out through the left toes, drawing that right knee in towards your right shoulder. Maybe lower your left leg to the floor if you want. So keep it lowered or lifted. It's up to you. And hug your knees into your chest again, and we'll switch sides. Hug the left knee in and forward towards your shoulder. Point the right toes away from your hips. Squeeze here. And come back. Both knees in. Hug your chin towards your knees. And then stretch your legs out for Savasana. Just letting your feet flop open. Making any little adjustments to make yourself completely comfortable. Savasana is a pose that we want to completely relax in. No effort, just surrender. So is this the beginning or the end? Is it the end of your practice? Is it the beginning of a new way of looking at things, a new way of practicing, newfound balance? Every moment could hold a beginning and an end. That's how do we look at it. So thank you so much for joining in this practice with me today. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, spread the word. I would really love to hear from you. So please leave a note for me in the comments below. Let me know of any requests that you might have for future videos. Always remembering that yoga is a blend of our physical poses, the asanas, but also our breath, our focus, our attitudes. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head to your heart. Namaste. Until next time, have a great day.